So this is a quick kind of challenge to my fellow liberal supporters or Carney supporters or whatever we want to call ourselves, warriors, Canadian warriors, whatever. I don't know. Let's come up with a fun name. Anyway, this is kind of a challenge to you guys. So number one, I would like all of you to stop commenting on posts that are made by bots. Okay, because these bots are trying to sow division. They are trying to make us hateful and trying to make us angry with conservative voters. So we have to remember there's billions of dollars being spent trying to use propaganda to get people to vote conservative right now. We can all agree on that. But the second part of that is they're also trying to make us just as angry and frustrated with the fact that the conservative voters are not being educated on the information. So what we need to remember, though, is it's not that conservatives are stupid and it's not that they're uneducated. They don't have time to research the stuff that we know about. And once they get caught on this conspiracy theory stuff, once their algorithm in their TikTok or in their Facebook picks up on this algorithm, that's all they're going to get fed day after day after day is stuff that feeds into that fear that they have. So if we just sit here and call them stupid all day long and uneducated people all day long, that's not going to help our cause. We're not going to sway any conservative voters with that type of mentality. If we alienate them and make them feel stupid and put them in a corner somewhere, they're not going to come forward with their fears. So we need to challenge these people. Ask them, extend the olive branch. What is it that you're so afraid of? What is it that you're scared that the Liberal Party did? What is it that you truly stand behind Pierre Poilievre? Ask them if there's any conspiracy theories that they've heard about, things that they might be worried about, things that they might want to talk about. I've been having discussions with a conservative voter for the past while, and she's told me some of the fears that she has. And these are legit. There's propaganda all over this stuff. There's propaganda about the WEF and how horrible it is. There's propaganda about Agenda 21 and how terrible it is. There's all sorts of propaganda on both sides. But a lot of people on the conservative side don't have the time to do the fact checking. They don't have the time to go through all of the information. And if all they're getting is spoon fed this garbage day after day after day, they're going to start believing it. And that's not their fault. That's propaganda. That's where the money's being spent to do it on purpose. And they're trying to make us hate them. They're trying to make us angry with our friends or our family or whatever to get them to alienate them. And that's not what we want, because if we alienate them, they're going to riot and they're going to try and take over Parliament just like January 6th. That's what happens with division, and they're trying to sow division. We need to reach out to these people. We need to understand their fears, understand what their concerns are, and work with those and actually have nice conversations with them. Don't call them names and tell them they're uneducated and be rude to them. That's not going to help us at all. So we've only got 2 weeks of this election left. We've all convinced each other who we're voting for. We're comfortable with that. We're good with that. We don't need to convince each other anymore. I don't think it's going to do any good. But we do need to reach out to those people that are seriously scared about the state of this country and what's going on, because Pierre has instilled this fear in them that Canada is broken and it needs to be fixed and you should be frightened and the Liberals are just going to do the same thing they've always done. This is the fear that they've instilled in these people. And this is a legit fear that they have. So instead of talking down to them and making them feel like crap about having a fear that's a completely legit fear, let's talk to them. Let's have conversations. Let's be kind. Let's, don't argue with them. If there's bots in your posts, check. If it's a bot, just delete it. Don't even argue with it. There's no point, because it's a bot. They're going to use AI to literally come back and fight with you. I actually had a person in my DMs try to use AI to actually impersonate the voice of another content creator that I was following to try to get me to change my mind. They used an AI recording of this guy's actual voice in my DMs to convince me that I was actually talking to him. And of course, I figured out it wasn't true, but whatever. That's not the point. The point is that millions of dollars are being spent trying to damage these people and make them feel isolated. And if we keep calling them stupid, we are isolating them even more. And what happens when you isolate people? They get angry and they lash out. They get backed into a corner and they lash out. And this is where the stop the steal mentality comes from. This is where the don't believe the polls mentality comes from, is because no one is listening to their actual fears. So I challenge all of you, anyone that's following me, please engage with these people, but do it in a kind way. Reach out, explore their fears, explore the things that they're talking about, and actually have a conversation. Don't talk down to them and make them feel stupid, because that's not going to get us anywhere. Elbows up, Canada.